What happens when a political party that once shaped the destiny of India suddenly finds itself struggling for relevance? Welcome to Sacred Echoes of India. In this segment, we'll discuss the reasons behind Congress's repeated electoral losses, why voters are drifting away, and how leadership decisions, especially those surrounding Rahul Gandhi, have become the center of national debate. We'll also look at why political analysts believe the party's internal operating system may be outdated for today's India. This isn't about taking sides. This is about understanding one of the biggest political mysteries of modern Indian politics. If you have followed Indian politics over the last 10 years, you have probably heard a recurring theme. Why does the Congress keep losing? And more precisely, is Rahul Gandhi's leadership part of the problem? Now here's the key. Political scientists don't say one person alone decides a party's fate. But many analysts argue that leadership perception matters tremendously in national elections, and that Rahul Gandhi has struggled to connect with a large section of voters. Critics point to a few reasons. First, communication style. Many voters feel his messaging focuses more on criticism of the government rather than presenting a clear alternative roadmap. Experts argue that in a political environment dominated by strong narratives like Achhe Din and Viksit Bharat, the Congress has often lacked a compelling counter-slogan or future-oriented vision. Second, controversial statements. Several of Rahul Gandhi's comments, especially those made on foreign platforms, have been described by critics as damaging or poorly timed. While his supporters say he is highlighting genuine issues, while critics argue this gives the impression of airing domestic grievances abroad, others note that his criticisms are not always entirely accurate, which many voters view negatively. Third, perceived inconsistency. His periodic exits from day-to-day politics, followed by high-profile re-entries through yatras, creates an image of inconsistency, and the image matters as much as the message. Together, these factors shape the public perception that Congress is struggling to project a stable, long-term national leader. Imagine a company still running on software built in the 1980s. The hardware may evolve, but if the operating system stays old, the whole machine slows down. Many political experts say the Congress party faces something similar. Despite being a national party with vast regional diversity, crucial decisions from candidate selection to alliances often come from the top. Regional leaders feel unheard, and local workers feel demotivated, unlike its early decades when Congress had an extensive grassroots network. Today, many states lack active booth-level structures. Analysts often point out that Congress's fundraising mechanisms are outdated compared to modern political parties with centralized digital machinery. Congress frequently relies on short-term alliances formed just before elections. These are fragile, transactional, and unravel quickly. In simple terms, an outdated operating system cannot run today's political software. To understand the present, we need a flashback. Congress dominated for decades after independence because of a strong ideological core built on nationalism, pluralism, and development, a deeply rooted grassroots organization, credible, charismatic leadership across states, a broad coalition of social groups. But many believe that reliance on dynastic succession began influencing leadership choices over merit, especially from the 1990s onwards. Supporters see this as continuity. Critics see it as stagnation. Over time, this dependence narrowed the leadership pool. Talented regional leaders either exited or reduced their involvement. This hampered the party exactly when India's politics was becoming more competitive and narrative-driven. Another major challenge critics point out is ideological confusion. Congress historically stood for center-left secular nationalism, but to counter the rising dominance of the BJP, at times it tried to embrace soft Hindutva messaging. At other times, it reverted to its older secular identity. This zigzagging created two problems. Core voters felt abandoned. Traditional Congress supporters felt the party diluted its ideological clarity. Potential allies became skeptical. Regional parties often complain that they can't predict where Congress stands on key issues. In politics, clarity is currency. Ambiguity can cost votes. Now we come to the crucial question: in what specific areas do experts believe Rahul Gandhi's leadership hurt the party's performance? Yatras generated positive visuals, but didn't translate into ground-level organization or seat gains. There was a gap between optics and execution. His messaging often focused on attacking the Prime Minister personally. Supporters saw this as courage. Critics felt it looked negative or disrespectful, especially when the tone sharpened and crossed into personal attacks. Several alliances were mishandled. Some states saw strong regional leaders leave due to disagreements with Rahul Gandhi's leadership style. Stepping back from the president's role after 2019 created what many describe as a leadership vacuum. Again, this is not about blame, it's about perceptions. And in democracy, perception drives votes. So, is the story over? Not at all. Experts argue that Congress can revive if it rewrites its political software. The Congress Party's story isn't just about one leader. It's about an organization trying to reinvent itself in a rapidly changing India. Whether it succeeds depends on whether it can rethink, rebuild, and reconnect. Congress hasn't declined because of a single leader or one bad election. It has declined because its identity, structure, strategy, and leadership model have not kept pace with the rapidly changing political landscape. Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful videos. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.